Question 6 says components are weighed during manufacture. Weights are measured to the nearest whole gram, and components that weigh at least 3 grams more than the maximum weight or at least 3 grams less than the minimum weight are rejected. Right, a component is rechecked if it weighs within 2 grams of either the maximum or minimum weight. The final outcome of weighing each component is shown below. So, right, I guess here this is kind of the weight going up. So, right, if it's more than 3 grams higher than the maximum, then it's rejected. However, let's say here if the maximum is 20 grams, right, then if it's between 22 or 18, then it's going to be rechecked. However, I guess if it's less than this, it's okay, as long as it's above this minimum. Likewise for the minimum, let's say the minimum is 10. Well, that means if it's 8 or if it's 12, so kind of between 8 and 12, then it will be rechecked. However, if it's less than 8, right, then it's going to be rejected. This is a little bit confusing, all right, but I mean, hopefully, once you understand this, hopefully you can understand how you can do the question. Right, it says a function status will be called with 3 parameters. These are integers representing the weight of an individual component together with the minimum and maximum weights. The value returned from the function will be as follows. Right, so accept, just a character A, right, reject character R, and recheck character C. We also want to write 5 tests here, which I guess we can do that just when we test it. All right, but we'll just go on and try and actually write this status function. Let's declare this function then. So this is function, it's status, and it takes 3 parameters. There's the weight, there's also the min, and also the max. Right, they're all going to be integers, and then here we just say returns char, because it just returns these single characters. Right, so I think here we maybe we can actually think of some test cases. So let's say, for example, the weight is 21, the minimum is 10, and the maximum is 20. Or in fact, actually, let's just set this to 24 first. So, I mean, because this has to be, at least 3 grams more. So we can kind of do something like this, where if we have 24 minus 3, well, if that is bigger than or equal to the maximum, then we know that, that's going to be at least 3 more. Right, so something like this. If we go the weight, that's annoying, it doesn't suggest. Right, let's go if weight minus 3 is greater than or equal to the max. Because this says at least 3 grams more. Okay, so it should be greater than or equal to. Right, and then we can have an or, so then we'll check the minimum. Right, so this will kind of be the opposite. We'll go weight plus 3, and that should be less than or equal to the minimum. Because let's say in that case, we have 7, so we do 7 plus 3. That will be less than or equal to 10. Okay, so this should work. And then for this, here we just want to go return, and this will be reject. Right, then we can have an else, and let's say here we want to do this recheck. So for this, I guess we can have something like 22, okay, because I think this says within, so 22 would also be recheck. So I mean, here we can do kind of something similar, where we want to say, I think we want to say, right, if weight minus 2, but then this one should be less than or equal to max. And then we want weight plus 2 is greater than or equal to max. I think that's right. So, I mean, let's think about this. Let's try, for example, 21. So here, 21 minus 2, right, that's going to be 19. So here, 19 is less than or equal to max. But then if we have this, 21 plus 2, right, that would be 23. So this will be, bigger than the max. So I think this works. And then if we try something smaller, like for example, let's try 19. 19 minus 2, 17, right, that's less than or equal to max. But then here 19 plus 2, that goes to 21, right, which will be bigger than the max. So this is just checking it's within this range. And I think this one can be a little bit tricky, to be honest. Right, so here then, we just want to go return, and this should be C. Right, but then the problem is this only checks for the max. So what we'll do, let's put this in brackets. Right, then we'll just do or, and then I think probably we can just copy this. And yeah, we'll just then put this to min. Alright, I think that should work. And then here, well, we can just have an else, and then in this case we can just return A, because obviously, yeah, if it's not being rejected, if it's not being rechecked, right, then it's just going to be accepted. Okay, and then let's go end function. And now for this, I mean, this is like the 5 test cases they wanted, so let's just go output, let's go status, and then here let's try, let's try 20, let's say the minimum is 10 and the, yeah, the maximum is 20. Now here it should say recheck, okay, because we're within 2 of 20. Yeah, okay, so C, right, that's recheck. Let's try 23, okay, this should say reject. Yeah, okay, let's try maybe, let's try 18, right, so 18 should also say C. Yeah, okay, I mean, we can also try, for example, 8, that should say C. Yeah, I guess 12, that will also say C. Yeah, we can try, for example, like 5, that should say reject. And then if we have something valid, let's say, well, I mean, 15 is obviously valid. And yeah, this says accept. Alright guys, so again, I mean, hopefully this makes sense. You know, there are probably other ways we can do this. Just kind of, you know, maybe put in this like +2 on the other side. Yeah, I guess obviously you can rearrange it. But I mean, hopefully this makes sense.